This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
.45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. The President visits Kandy to participate at the official closing ceremony of the Kandy Asela Perhera. Sri Lanka invites UAE for broader cooperation. The government is to take necessary legal action without any delay with regard to the Express Pearl disaster. The International Youth Day and the World Wild Elephant Day fall today. News overseas, UN alarms as the Ukraine nuclear power plant shelled. In sports, the second Masters World Cup hockey tournament scheduled to be held in England from today. And those are the headlines. The official closing ceremony of the Kandy Asela Perhera will be held under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the President's house in Kandy today. The President viewed the final Randoli Perhera of historical Kandy Asela festival last night. Following today's Perhera, Diyavadana Nilame of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, Pradeep Nilanga Dayala, accompanied by the Basanayaka Nilames of the Devalayas, will hand over the traditional Sannas Patra to the President, informing him that the Perhera festival was concluded successfully. It will be followed by the presentation of the cash prizes and certificates to the dancers and artists who performed at the Perhera by the President. The event to admire the performance of the artist is held this year after a suspension of 2 years due to the global pandemic situation. Minister Dr. Vijayadas Rajapaksa and Attorney General Sanjay Rajaratnam held a discussion on the legal measures to be taken regarding the impact and the damage caused to Sri Lanka by the fire on the MV Express Pearl ship. Attorney General Sanjay Rajaratnam presented facts regarding the legal measures that have already been taken in this regard. Maritime Environment Protection Authority Chairperson Darshani Lahandapura explained the facts included in the report prepared regarding the damage to the environment and the cleaning of the seashore, the removal of the waste material that came to the seashore due to the fire of the ship. The minister gave instructions to the relevant officers to take the necessary legal action without any delay regarding the incident. The minister further stated that since the incident has caught the attention of the public and various parties, action needs to be taken fast. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Scan the Lanka QR code and make your payments with People's Pay mobile payment app from People's Bank.
The UAE Ambassador Khalid Nasser Al-Ameri paid a visit to Sri Lanka's Minister of Foreign Affairs Ali Sabri at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs recently. Minister Sabri briefed the UAE envoy on the current economic situation in Sri Lanka and the tangible steps the government has taken to strengthen the Sri Lankan economy. At the meeting, the foreign minister had also invited the UAE to expand its agricultural, trade and investment cooperation with Sri Lanka. The UAE ambassador had emphasized the importance of the bilateral relationship between Sri Lanka and UAE and assured Sri Lanka of his country's full support at this time. The International Youth Day falls today. Every year, the International Youth Day falls on August 12th. The age group between 15 to 24 is defined as youth. The theme for this year's International Youth Day is Intergenerational Solidarity, Creating a World for All Ages. This year's Youth Day is very important for us because we are facing unprecedented economic and political crisis. So it is appropriate to see why such a day was formed and what sort of significance of it for the world. This day was created by the United Nations when they passed a resolution towards creating it in 1999 at the United Nations General Assembly. The date August 12th was chosen by the World Conference of Ministers responsible for youth, and their recommendation was declared by the UN as the International Youth Day. The current world's youth population is around 1.2 billion, and the number is growing faster in the poorer countries. LRH consultant pediatrician Dr. Deepal Perera says more children are now being treated for COVID-19 and dengue virus at the Lady Ridgeway Hospital in Colombo. He added that there were 25 dengue positive cases discovered, of which 18 had been at the typical dengue fever and 8 had dengue, the other variety of fevers. He also said that the 2 patients were being treated in the hospital's intensive care unit, and the 9 COVID-19 positive children were receiving treatment at the COVID wards. Dr. Pereira added that the number would have been higher if he had checked all the patients, and said random patient checks revealed the number of dengue and COVID positive cases. Dr. Deepal requests the public to keep their surroundings, including their homes and places of education, clean, and also suggested that people once more adhere to fundamental health precautions to stop children from contracting the COVID-19 virus. And that's local news.
Nobody tells time like this. So why do you still pay with cash when you have People's Pay mobile app from People's Bank? Scan the Lanka QR code and make your payments with People's Pay mobile payment app from People's Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Every year, August 12th is designated as the World Wild Elephant Day in view of the conservation of the world's wild elephants. World Wild Elephant was first named in 2012 in Thailand when film director William Shatner announced it. After 2 documentaries were made about wild elephants focusing on the issues related to Asian elephants. Speaking to the media regarding World Wild Elephant Day, Wildlife and Forest Resources Conservation Minister Mahinda Amaravira stated that the theme of the year's World Wild Elephant Day is prehistoric beauty, theological relevance, and environmental importance. He also emphasized that the population of the wild elephants in Sri Lanka exceeds 5,000 according to the last elephant census conducted in 2011, and that every year wild elephants as well as the humans die due to human-elephant conflict. And that was top news.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
The Department of Motor Traffic, DMT, has decided to provide their service during weekdays in the Western Province, WP, soon after restoring the fuel crisis to some extent. The DMT has decided to provide services such as the vehicle registration and issuing a revenue license during working days. People can get their vehicles registered and get their revenue license from Maligavatta and from DMT head office. And that was Watchlight.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Moving on to world news headlines. UN alarms as a Ukraine nuclear plant shelled. Roller coaster crash at Germany resort injures 30. McDonald's plans to reopen the Kyiv and Western Ukraine branches. And those are the headlines. More shelling of Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant has been reported, with Ukraine and Russia again blaming each other for the attack. Each side said there were 10 hits on the plant's administrative office and fire station on Thursday. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned the fighting could lead to disaster at Europe's largest nuclear plant seized by Russia in early March. Ukraine warned that Russia may provoke the world's worst nuclear accident. The roller coaster crash at Legoland's theme park at Germany has hurt more than 30 people, at least one of whom has severe injuries. According to German media, the accident happened after 2 roller coaster trains collided with each other. The incident took place on the Dragon's Ride at the Leisure Resort, which is located near Gunsberg in Bavaria, and 3 helicopters were deployed to the scene, German media reports. McDonald's has announced plans to reopen outlets in Ukraine, which closed after Russia's invasion in March. The fast food chain said it hoped the move would help restore a small but important sense of normalcy. There'll be a phased reopening over the next several months in Kyiv and western Ukraine in areas deemed safe, the burger giant said. And that's world news. And moving on to development news, the Ministry of Transport says that a luxury train will be operated between Colombo and Badulla soon. The ministry said it will start this weekend. The new train named Ella Odyssey launched operations following the instruction of the Minister of Transport. Colombo-Badulla railway line is one of the most popular railway lines among the tourists and world famous for its attractiveness. The train is scheduled to operate every Saturday, departing Colombo Fort at 5:30 a.m. and arriving at Badulla at 3:55 p.m. And that was development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Sri Lankan men's over 35 and 40 teams left the country recently to take part in the second Masters World Cup hockey tournament scheduled to be held from today, the 12th of August, to the 21st of this month in Nottingham, England. Sri Lankan national hockey team is currently ranked 34th in the world, 8th in Asia and 4th in South Asia. Sri Lanka hockey team has never played in a World Cup as other countries in Asia, including India, Pakistan and Japan, who have been at the top of the game. The Sri Lankan Masters hockey team initiated the move to participate in the Masters World Cup in 2018 in Barcelona, Spain, to give more exposure to the veterans for the betterment of the game. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Commercial Bank has been declared as the most respected bank in Sri Lanka for the 18th consecutive year and has retained its ranking as the 4th most respected corporate entity in the country overall. And this has been stated in the 2022 Most Respected Entities in Sri Lanka rankings published by the LMD magazine. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
India intends to invest across industries in Sri Lanka using both public and private businesses. Accordingly, India will help to promote hydrocarbons, ports and infrastructure, information technology and hotels industry in the island. Economists say that Sri Lanka is located in a strategic location and that there is a good potential. Indian investors are ready to invest in Sri Lanka in many industries. And that's economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Finally, in the weather report, the Met Department says a few showers will occur in western and Sabarkama provinces and in Galle, Matra, Kandy and Nuwara districts. Showers or thundershowers may occur at few places in Monoragala and Ampara districts during the evening or night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere. Fairly strong winds, about 40 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills, northern and north-central provinces and in Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. And that was Weather Report. To wind up this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. The President visits Kandy to participate at the closing ceremony of the Kandy Asela. Sri Lanka invites the UAE for broader cooperation. The government is to take necessary legal action without any delay with regard to the Express Pearl disaster. The International Youth Day and the World Wild Elephant Day fall today. News overseas: UN alarms as the Ukraine nuclear plant shelled. In sports, the second Masters World Cup hockey tournament scheduled to be held in England from today. And with that, we conclude this morning news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.